Hey everybody, today we're going to be building the cabinets that go under this outfeed table. So stay tuned and check it out. Actually, before I get started building that cabinet, I'm going to clear everything off and flip it over and put some of these casters on the bottom of the workbench. That just makes the whole workshop just a little bit more mobile and allows me to turn this whole workbench around if I ever need to. So first, let's get going with that. Like I mentioned, first I had to clear everything off the bottom of the workbench so I could flip the bench on its side. In order to mount these casters, I had to add some blocking, just a simple 2x4 screwed into place. With the blocking in place, I could mark the slots in the caster's mounting plate, pre-drill the holes, and then bolt the casters in place. It was pretty straightforward. And it seemed to roll around pretty easily, even with half the workbench loaded up, so I was pretty happy about that. With the casters mounted and out of the way, I moved on to building the actual cabinets. To start, I ripped a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood to width on the table saw. 2 of these pieces make up the top, bottom, and both sides of the cabinet carcass. With the 2 pieces ripped to width, I could then cross-cut them to length with my skill saw. To assemble the carcass, I just used glue and brad nails and the help of a corner clamp. After the corners were tacked in place, I reinforced the joints with some screws. Then it was rinse and repeat for the other 3 corners. Now, I only had a little bit of this 1/4 inch plywood left for a back panel, so I ripped it in half and attached it to each side with glue and brad nails. This kind of acts like a shear wall and keeps it so the carcass doesn't turn into a parallelogram. The bottom of this cabinet will have one long drawer, so I can't extend the center divider all the way down. So instead, I cut a divider shorter and attached it to the top and the back of the cabinet. I really had to take my time and line this up correctly. If this was out of square, then my drawers would be out of square as well, and it could cause some binding with the drawer slides. After that, I cut a stretcher piece to span along the bottom of the center divider and just give it some rigidity. Next, I cut some strips for the trim pieces along the front. This step is purely cosmetic. I cut the strips, then marked them to length, cut them to length at the miter saw, and then installed them using glue and brad nails. Then it was time to make the bottom drawer. I stacked 2 drawer slides in the corner and then took a measurement of the width of the opening. Then I placed a 1/2 inch piece of plywood on the bottom and took an overall height measurement. Then I ripped 3/4 inch plywood to width and cut the pieces to length. Once again, I assembled everything with glue and brad nails. With the box assembled, I cut a piece of 1/2 inch plywood to size for the bottom, attaching it using glue and brad nails again. Finally, I came back with some screws and reinforced everything. I used a spacer to mount 1/2 of the drawer slides to the cabinet, then I placed some smaller spacers on the bottom of the cabinet to lift the drawer up slightly. Then I pulled the drawer and the slides out slowly and attached the slides to the drawers with screws along the way. Then I tested the drawer out and it seemed to work great. In this instance, I placed the slides near the bottom of the drawer just in case I needed to add another set of drawer slides to this drawer since it's so big and it's probably going to be carrying a lot of weight. With the bottom drawer done, I moved on to making the top 4 drawers. So when I have all the fronts and backs cut, I like to clamp them all together and then just place them in here. And then I'll take my 2 slides and set them next to it. I find that you want them to be touching but not like binding tight. So you can see if you watch over here, I can still move it that way a little bit. But these slide in there nicely. I don't think that's going to be too tight. It's definitely not going to be too loose. So if you need to make any trims, again, if you clamp them all together, have them flush on one side, then you can see any discrepancies on the other side and just cut them all at once, taking very little passes at one time. So these seem to be working fine, and we'll move on to the other side. So typically people prefer to make shallow drawers primarily because then it's less likely to turn into a junk drawer. But I chose to make deeper drawers because I feel like you can always come back and make smaller drawers inside the drawers just to keep things organized. And I think I'll make that its own separate video in the future. Plus, I hate it when I go to place a large tool or object in a drawer and it's just not quite deep enough. So deep drawers it is. Alright, enough talking about my drawers. With the rest of the drawers made, I moved the cabinet to the top of the workbench to install the drawer slides. This process was similar to the bottom drawer. I just used a spacer to set the slides on and attach it to the cabinet, then placed a few small spacers under the drawer before attaching the slides to the drawer. With all the drawers mounted, I then removed them to make moving the cabinet in place a little bit easier. Although this didn't go quite as smoothly as I would have hoped. The cabinet was just a little bit too snug to fit in the opening, but it was nothing a belt sander couldn't fix. With the cabinet in place and the drawers made, it was time to make the drawer faces and doors. I wanted to have the grain of the wood run continuous through the drawer faces, so I began by cutting a piece that would cover all the drawers. I started with the bottom drawer first, since that was just one long strip of wood. With that face installed, I could use it along with some small spacers to set the next drawer faces. I installed this next face as one long face to begin with. I mounted it to both drawers with screws from the back side. Then I could mark where I needed to cut it in half to make 2 drawer faces. Once it was cut in half, reinstalling it was easy since I already had the mounting holes. Next was the drawer handles. So I'm not going to go into detail on how I install drawer handles in this video, but if you want to learn how, I have a whole separate video just on installing handles, so make sure to go check that out. I'll leave that linked up above and in the description box below. And finally, the last thing to do was make some doors for the other side of the workbench. This was pretty simple, just cut out the doors, attach some hinges, and install some more pull handles. And with that, the workbench was complete. Well, at least for now. In the future, I plan to add a bunch of sliding trays and dividers within the drawers just to add a bit of separation. so be sure to stay tuned for that video. I really enjoyed how this workbench turned out, and I'm excited to load it up with a bunch of tools. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. That way you're notified every time I release a new video. And if you guys are interested in building a workbench similar to this, be sure to check out the plans down below. I'll have those linked in the description box. Until next time, thanks for watching.